Hey, welcome to Module 5. I just want to thank you again for your patience as I play catch up from being out of town last week. I had a really great time celebrating my birthday and appreciate all of the show recommendations from the discussion posts. Those were super fun to read. So I have wrapped up grading your assignments from Module 3, and we'll start grading your creative briefs tomorrow. So be on the lookout for feedback over the next couple of days. And before I dive into this week's intro, I wanted to touch on the importance of the creative brief one more time. I know that this feels like a lot of planning, and we've already gone through the first 5 weeks of this course without writing any actual copy, but I promise it's all for a really good reason. Strategy work is crucial to ensuring your creative campaign is as successful as possible. The creative brief is especially important since it distills all of that upfront work into a roadmap that you can then go back to as you start executing a campaign. Think of a creative brief kind of like a grading rubric that we use in this course. It basically gives you a checklist of requirements that your campaign must meet, and the agency and the client must agree on the brief before creative work begins so that everyone approaches the challenge from the same place. And it also acts as a guideline for how your work is reviewed and critiqued. So that means that you may hear your work is off brief for whatever reason. And maybe that's because you're not speaking to your target audience, or maybe your executions are focused on the wrong features of your product. So having that document, that creative brief, as this guiding light ensures that feedback is objective, purposeful, and moves the work forward. So now that you all have your brief, it's time for our last step of planning. Yay! And then we'll move on to the creative work, I promise. So for this module, you'll be creating your own media plan, which essentially is just choosing which type of advertisements you'll create. So do you make a 30-second TV spot that airs on ESPN for your 30-something sport-loving target audience? Or will you maybe create a series of TikTok videos with popular influencers for the Gen Z audience? So the types of advertising you select makes a big impact on how your work is received. And there are a lot of things to consider, but I like to make it a little bit easier and approach it this way. So the first step that I like to take is, again, just think about your audience. And this is where that persona work really helps out. So ask questions like, where does this audience spend their time? Are they watching TV? Are they scrolling on Facebook? Do they live in a city and commute to work every day? Or are they in a rural area with zero public transportation? Do they read magazines, or are they subscribed to digital publications? Are they listening to Spotify? Are they listening to the radio? So I like to try detailing out their day, right? With a focus on how they interact with various media. And then the next step I like to take is to look at the types of advertising available. So in this module on page 5.3, I've given you a long list of advertising types that you can leverage. They range from billboards and taxi cab signs to YouTube pre-roll ads and text messages. But just remember, not all advertising is as cut and dry as a print ad in a magazine. Advertising can be something super novel, like Domino's Pizza Tracker. Did you know, and this is a fun fact, that this was actually created as an advertisement? So Domino's and their agency partners, Crispin, Porter, and Bogusky, came up with the tracker idea as a part of a campaign around fast delivery. And it was an industry first and has since been copied by all types of brands. But this was a totally novel thing that didn't exist yet. But they had the idea and they brought it to life. So sometimes the type of media that would work best for your brand just doesn't exist, and you have to create it. So after you consider your audience and review all of the media types, it's time to narrow in on what makes the most sense. And this part is really just common sense, frankly. Is an email campaign really going to be effective for somebody who hardly looks at their phone? Or would a big splashy mural in their city make more sense? Is a Gen Z college student going to engage with a 30-minute brand film on YouTube? Or are they more likely to watch reviews from real people on Instagram or TikTok? Is a baby boomer really gonna scan a QR code? Or are they gonna save that coupon that they received in the mail? This is going to require you to really think about all of the things that you've researched so far, what you know about your brand, your audience, your persona, and what you'll learn this week as far as advertising types. And it will help you come up with a really solid media plan that is smart, effective, and has tons of creative opportunities. Please don't forget to check out that grading rubric to make sure you have everything required before you turn in the assignment. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you all put together, and as always, I am here to answer any questions or clarify anything you don't understand. Just shoot me a message, okay? I hope you have an amazing week. Until next time, cheers!